one of the three of you start talking to the others?
Yeah.
Who starts the conversation first?
Well, Matt was like, oh, this guy. And then I was like, yeah, this guy. And then that's when we all started. And then...
I'm going to ask Patricia, don't get too far ahead of me here. We're going to go, this is important, this is obviously important, so we're going to go through it very carefully. So don't start telling the entire story. Just answer the questions. I promise you we'll get through, and everything the jury needs to hear will be heard. But I want to do it slowly and carefully. Understand?
Okay.
So, Matt says, oh, this guy. Does he say to you or does he say to Patricia?
Said it in general, I guess. Like,
how did that make you feel?
Kind of like poke, and I poke back, and
I think you said that you, in response to Matt saying that, you said, yeah, this guy.
correct.
Who'd you say that to?
Back to Matt,
Why'd you say that?
because he said, oh, this guy.
Do you approach Matthew or Patricia?
Well, we're walking, so we're like right there. Now we're like, all three of us are like right there.
And what, as you're all together, do you say anything to them?
Yeah, I started talking with them,
Why?
because I started asking questions.
What questions did you ask him?
The question about that night,
What night are you talking about?
the night over at her house.
Are you back when you were dating?
Correct.
Right. Why did you bring that up?
It just popped in my head.
Just out of the blue?
It just popped in my head.
Before that moment, when you ran into them in the Maple Street parking lot, had you thought about that night back at Patricia's house?
No, it popped into my head right then and there.
It pops into your head. So why did that prompt you to start asking Matthew and Patricia about that night?
Because they were together, and they made me apologize, and I wanted to know the truth about if they forced me to apologize about that night. So once it popped in my head, I wanted to know the truth.
At that moment, when it pops in your head, did you think that they had actually been together that night?
What do you mean?
I mean, okay, I want to understand. Did you think it was possible that they had been together that night and something had happened between the two of them, again, at that particular moment?
I'm not understanding the question.
This moment, that night, pops into your head.
But
You have-
that night, they were already together.
I'm sorry, I was saying that night, I wasn't precise. The night in Patricia's house pops into your head, right?
Correct.
Right. Then, please keep ahead of it. What did you said you had to ask them about that night in Patricia's house. What did you say to them?
Well, I asked them about forcing me to apologize.
And how did they react?
And Matt flat out denied it, and he's like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about. It wasn't like that. you're wrong about that. And I was like, well, obviously something was going on because you guys are together right now. So this didn't just come out of nothing. And then they were like, no, that never happened. That you were seeing things, and so they were still backing that up.
Right, so at that moment, did you think it was possible that something had happened between the two of them at Matthew and Patricia's house? Or did you know? Were you certain that something had happened between them?
Well, they were together now, so now I'm knowing that something must have happened.
All right, so keep going. They're denying.
So they're denying it. So I'm asking about it, and I'm talking to them, and they're going back. He's denying it. She's staying quiet. I speak to him again. I speak to her. She looks down. I go back to him. I speak to him. I talk to him about it. And I'm like, dude, you're supposed to be my boy. You treating me. Then I go back to her. And then all of a sudden, she's like, I'm like, you forced me to apologize. And then all of a sudden, she's like, well, he did too.
That phrase, what did you think he meant?
And when she went like that, she was like, and he did too. That's when you went walking to the truck. That's when you went walking to the truck. And when you went walking to the truck, I don't even know how to explain it, man.
I'll be fine. But what we need to know right now is what's your thinking and what's your feeling? What's going on in your head at the exact moment you're describing? So Patricia says, well, he did it too. What did that do to your head? What did it do to your brain? What did that make you feel?
It's like, I don't know. And that was it. It was just blasting. Just blasting. Just blasting. And blurriness and blasting. And that was it. That was it. Just blurriness and blasting. That was it.
Victor? What you're describing, is this what was going on in your head when you shot Matthew and Patricia?
That was it. It was just. blurriness of glasses, that's it.
Do you have a clear memory of shooting Matthew and Patricia?
No. No.
Did you shoot her?
Yeah.
Did you want to shoot her?
No. I don't want to hurt them.
Was your brain telling your body to pull the trigger? And you gotta
No,
say word.
I wasn't. No. Did your brain try to tell your body to stop? I tried.
Talk more about it. You said you tried. Give the jury as much detail as you can about what you mean by that.
I don't know. I don't know. I just tried. I tried.
And also, Victor, remember, you're starting to mumble. I need you to look up and I need you to use up. Everyone's here needs to hear what you're saying right now.
I tried. I really did. I tried to stop. I couldn't.
Can you explain why you couldn't stop yourself?
I just couldn't. I wasn't. I couldn't. I couldn't.
Victor, have you ever lost your temper in the past?
Yeah.
Have you ever been really angry?
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm talking about the point where you're shouting, you can't stop yourself from shouting, that sort of thing. Or maybe a fight. But the point, like, I'm talking about some time where you really lost your temper. Was that what happened here?
No.
How was it different?
I've never felt this ever in my life. I've never I've never felt that ever in my life. It was the weirdest feeling in the world. It was no control over anything. Vision, taste, everything. Smell, everything's different. Everything's just... I don't know.
How long did this last?
What was that?
How long did this last? What you're talking about, the state of mind here, how long did it last?
Long time. Long time.
So, do you have a memory of shooting American Patricia?
Glasses.
Do you have a memory of walking away afterwards?
Blurriness.
And this, when did this start? What would you call it? I'm trying to think of the right word for this state of mind that you're describing. Is there, how would you say? Is it a mental breakdown, a snap? What word do you think is the best way to describe it?
I'm going to object. Maybe an objection to leading there because the defense attorney is the one offering the word mental breakdown to the client. Yeah. Let's bring in our analyst to see what he has to say about what we've seen so far from Victor Ramirez on the stand. Rivera, rather. Let's bring in from Martinez, California, criminal defense attorney Alan Kagawa is with us. Alan, good to have you on again, analyzing this case. I know last week you said this was going to be all about state of mind and that the heat of passion is what this defense is trying to get in front of this jury. Is he saying the right words? Is it the buzzwords that you want to hear from a defendant on the stand?
Oh, good morning, and thank you for having me. His testimony is incredibly weird. I think what we're dealing here is someone who potentially has some sort of diminished capacity or perhaps has some sort of cognitive disorder or something like that. I'm hearing the key words for heat of passion, which is that he was angry the entire time, he has poor recollection, he feels like he couldn't control things. But what I'm really missing here is, my big concern here is that from what I'm gathering from him, this could be a situation in which he just deeply regrets this and is somewhat in denial, not necessarily a complete loss of control. This is a situation in which he continued to shoot the victim once she had fallen to the ground. Didn't call EMS, didn't call 911, simply walked away. And if he really thinks that his brain was telling him, oh, you know, I shouldn't be doing this, you would have expected some sort of attempt to help the victims here.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Yeah, I like that, the way that Alan framed it. It's crazy, it's weird, it's off, it's something
weird, devoid of emotion.
Yeah, and you wonder on cross how aggressive they're going to be, because if he is diminished a bit, jurors will know that. They're watching, they're so close to him. Mm-hmm. So they're developing some sort of relationship with him, and a defendant. He's on the stand. He has those earphones on because he is a bit hard of hearing. It's not being translated, obviously. He's speaking English. It's just that he is a bit diminished. So on cross, Alan, do you go at this guy hard and wake him up, or get him frustrated? How do you handle a guy like this?
Oh, a guy like this, I'd say a big thing is you're really going to want to try to fluster him a bit, see if you can really get some sort of change in demeanor. Because what you'd really like to show if you're a prosecutor in this case is that this guy's initial statements about, potentially being unsure, stuff like that, the fact that he's answering all these questions a bit, in an uncertain manner was all just a ruse. And what I really want to see across as a prosecutor is complete change in demeanor.
We will see what happens next. Alan, stand by. Let's get to a break and we'll get you back in for more of Victor Rivera and the bad breakup murder trial happening now in New Hampshire.
Tonight on Court TV.
I'm Vinny Politan. Welcome to Closing Arguments. We have a big hour ahead here.
Your deplorable actions are unforgivable.
The community still doesn't know how this Boston police officer died.
He can't prove one element of his case.
It was a dramatic day, a dramatic moment inside the courtroom.
What's happening here?
It's unreal. Let me show you exactly what happened.
Closing Arguments with Vinny Politan. Tonight at 8/7 Central. Only on Court TV.
Welcome back. It's a big moment happening now in a New Hampshire courtroom where the defendant is on the stand in a double murder trial.
The prosecution claims that Victor Rivera was so angry that his ex-girlfriend started dating someone new that he killed them both. The defendant is testifying about the night of the shooting right now. That sidebar just finished up, so let's go back into the courtroom. This is still direct Victor Rivera.
When did this state of mind start?
Instantly. As soon as she said, and he did too.
Why do you think that caused such a reaction to you?
I don't know. I don't know.
Victor, I'm going to play the video of the shooting. Oh, all right, Victor, that screen's working, right? Victor? Your screen is working, right?
Yeah.
Right. Just a little bit. Can you see the 3 people up by the telephone pole?
Yeah.
Who are they?
Patricia, Matthew, myself.
At that time in the video, are you talking to them?
I don't think so yet. No.
Right. So, if I can get the position, who is the person over here? But I'm circling with my mouse, the person farthest in the parking lot.
That's Patricia.
All right. And who is that?
That is myself.
And who is that?
That is Matt.
Are you and Matt talking to each other?
Yeah.
Can you see the gesture Matt's making?
What was that?
Can you see Matt making any gestures?
No.
All right. Are the 2 of you, so you're much, right at this point, you're much closer to Matt than you are to Patricia, am I right?
Correct.
So, are you talking with Matt?
Yeah.
Do you know what the 2 of you are saying to each other right now?
I can't recall.
Is this before or after he said, oh, this guy, and you said, yeah, this guy?
So that started over by the dumpster.
So this is after you were by the dumpster?
Yeah.
Advance a bit. Did you see that you were making some gestures?
Yeah.
And it looked like you were shaking your hand. Were you?
Yeah.
Were you shaking your hand at Matt?
Yeah.
Do you remember what?
I don't recall what part of the conversation that was.
So, after that, you start walking. It looks like you're walking towards Patricia. You're at least a lot closer to Patricia than you were just a few seconds ago. I need you to say yes or no.
Oh, yeah.
And if you can't, I need you to look that bit, but when you answer, always look at the jury. The jury needs to hear what you say, so whenever you talk, even if it's just a simple yes to my question, make sure you're looking at the jury, okay?
Okay.
All right. So, do you know what you, Matt, and Patricia are talking about at this moment?
No.
So, yeah, you can see here. You walk up, you're right next to Patricia. Do you remember, were you intentionally walking towards Patricia or not?
This is where I started talking about that night. is where I started asking about that night at the house.
Ready to dance in a bit?
All right, Victor Rivera still spinning his version of events on the witness stand on direct. We'll get a break and then get you back into the courtroom for more right after this.
AHS.
Welcome back to Court TV Live, along with Julia Janae. I'm Ted Rollins. We are heading back to New Hampshire now. It is day 4 of the bad breakup murder trial for the defendant, Victor Rivera.
And he is on the stand telling his side. He's facing second-degree murder charges in connection to the death of his ex-girlfriend, Patricia Swett, and her new boyfriend, Matthew Champagne. Prosecutors say this was all about anger, that he was furious that his friend and his ex-girlfriend were together, that he shot and killed them. But his defense says, no, he was drunk. He didn't know what he was doing. He was out of control and having a breakdown. Has no memory of it until it was all over.
And we're listening to his painfully slow direct examination as he resuscitates to the jury his version of events. But it's not really clear, a lot of it, because some of the things he's answering, others he's not.
And I'm getting a different kind of emotion from him than you would expect from someone who was deeply remorseful for what happened, which is what the defense wants to show, that he immediately showed remorse. But the way he's describing it sounds very nonchalant. He's doing a lot of shrugging, saying he's not really sure how to explain it, but he doesn't seem to be, you know, everyone shows emotions differently, but we're not really getting that from him so far.
And again, it's still direct, so we'll see how he fares in cross. Let's pick up more of the direct though now and head back to the courtroom.
Again, I'm going to go every few seconds. And Nancy, a few seconds, so you can say if you remember what's happening at those few seconds. What is happening here? It looks like the 3 of you are all coming together.
This is where I'm asking about what happened that night at the house.
And what are they saying here?
Well, this is what I'm asking her. I'm already had when he's going, the prior to this one, when he's going like this, is when he's denying, when he's saying no, that nothing happened at the house. The prior for me getting next to her.
Right, now, the 3 of you are really close to each other. What are you talking about now?
Same thing.
So you guys were all together there, really close together for about 20 seconds, maybe a bit more. What were you talking about during that time?
We're talking about the same thing.
And then someone walks away. Who is that on the left? Is that you or Matt? Where my mouse?
That is me.
Okay. So then that's Matthew and Patricia both walking away.
Correct.
Do you remember what was said right before they started walking away?
No.
So they walk away and you're following. Why did you follow them?
Because we're still talking.
Again, that's just a few seconds. That's you on the left, right, where my mouse is.
That's Matt.
Oh, that's Matt. All right, so you're over here. Am I right?
Correct.
All right. And that's you and Patricia look like you're right next to each other. Is that true?
Yeah.
And you're both around here. All right, now, there's more separation. Is this Matt?
Correct.
And is that Patricia in the middle?
Correct.
And is that you over there?
Correct.
And what are you guys talking about now?
We're still talking about the same thing. Subject never changed. We're still talking about the same thing.
So now, I've advanced about 10 seconds. All three of you are sort of close to Matt's truck, in that wagon next to Matt's truck. Is this car up here, is that Matt's truck? Do you know?
Correct. Correct, yes.
Okay. At this point, has Patricia said, well, he did it too yet?
What was that?
Has Patricia said, well, when she said, well, he did it too, has she said that yet in this video? Or has that happened?
No, it hasn't happened yet.
I've advanced in about 15 seconds. Has anything changed? Are you guys still talking about the same thing?
Correct.
Do you remember specifically what's being said at this moment?
No, not specifically, but we're still talking about the same thing. What happened over at the house.
I'm letting it go because this is still you guys talking, right?
Correct.
All right, little break in the action there. Alan Kagawa still watching along with us, criminal defense attorney in Martinez, California. Alan, again, it's a weird kind of paint drying, direct, but also frustrating from a viewer's standpoint. Do you think jurors are getting a different feel because they're in the room and maybe they're picking up more of the what the defendant is saying, maybe, you know, with other cues, etc.?
I get the feeling that the jury is in just as much pain as us, the viewers. I get the feeling that the jury also just, you know, is listening to this man ramble on, not really expressing remorse, like Julia mentioned. And I believe that potentially there's a very, very strange defense going on here. I think potentially what the defense might be trying to do is really just show what this man is like and really argue that, yeah, he doesn't really have a filter, he has no remorse, he is strange, he is weird, he is slow, but this is genuinely how he is. And as a result, when he tells you, yeah, I have no memory of it happening at the time, I didn't really understand what my body was doing, that is just as credible as the other painful testimony he is going through right now.
So possible. And Alan, one thing that I found interesting about the defense opening statement, which was very good, they very well laid out what could be his defense, and it prepared them for him on the stand, because the defense said he's not a complex man. He's very simple in the way that he thinks about things, so you'll hear him, and now we are. But they didn't mention what he should be found guilty of. They said you should find him not guilty. He couldn't form the required intent, but we all assume that it's going to be something lesser, like manslaughter, negligent homicide. He's already facing second-degree murder. But do you think that that was strategic, and was it a good strategy to not mention if there is a lesser charge that they want to ask the jury for?
That is an excellent observation, and I absolutely do believe this is strategic. I suspect the defense is a bit uncertain as to how exactly he's going to testify on the stand, and what they want to do is they just want to keep all their options available, and I'm guessing that's why they didn't go into any specifics in the opening statement.
Thanks, Alan.
See. Let's get a break. There's still a little bit more of the direct examination, and then it will be time for cross. They actually, they went to lunch. They just finished up the direct. They're not going to cross until after the lunch break. So we'll have that all for you coming up in the next hour. But right now, we'll get a break and get you back for the rest of the direct examination of Victor Rivera on the stand. Stay with us.
A Ponzi scheme and a deadly poisoning.
A former pharmacist already convicted in a federal fraud case.
Now stands trial for the murder of her husband.
The financial crime gives rise to murder.
Did Natalie Cochran kill to cover up other crimes?
We're not here to obtain convictions. We're here to obtain the truth.
Now a jury will decide her fate, and Court TV will bring you every minute.
The Ponzi scheme murder trial. Live coverage begins this week, only on Court TV.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. Let's go back to New Hampshire. We've been following today the testimony in the bad breakup murder trial, the defendant on the stand.
Victor Rivera, charged with the murders of Patricia, Swett, and Matthew Champagne. Parking lot surveillance video shows the murders. Rivera approaches the couple, then the three appear to argue before he pulls out his gun and shoots him dead.
So the question will be for this jury, is he guilty of second-degree murder in this case, or was this heat of passion, or is he not guilty? Let's get you back into the courtroom now. We're listening to him still under direct by his own attorney.
Right? All right. I paused it. Victor, I paused it just as the shooting's about to start. How much before this was when Patricia said, well, he did it too?
Right then.
In advance, I'm going to show you the shootings. The thing I want you to focus on is, well, first you shoot. It looks like you first shoot Patricia.
Correct.
And then it looks like you turn and shoot Natalie. Am I right about all this? Do you remember this order?
Yes.
And then after that, that's when you're over Patricia, you point your gun down and you shoot her on the ground. Do you remember that?
It's all blurs.
All right. Is what you're thinking during that part what you and I talked about quite a bit before I started showing this video?
What was that?
I'm talking about what you're thinking at this moment in the video. Is it what we've talked about extensively before I showed you the video?
Correct.
Is there anything that watching this video has triggered in your mind about what was going on in your head at this moment?
No.
After this, you walk away. Do you remember why do you remember walking away?
No, I don't.
I think we had said earlier that you were going out to the Mexican place, which is the other way. Here, you're going north on Maple Street, sort of back towards East Hall. Do you remember why you went that way?
No, I remember why we had it back that way.
I think, do you remember Nicole Weldy saying that she saw you back in Slades around the time that the police came to the scene? Right, well, do you remember going into Slades after this?
No.
So after the shooting, what is the next thing you remember?
The police officer with the rifle.
Do you remember which officer it was? Was it one of the ones? Oh, was it one of the ones who testified this week or last week?
I don't remember name.
Well, was that when you were arrested?
Yeah.
So, this is about 10:27. I believe that the testimony is you were arrested around midnight. Is that?